Hello. Welcome to some yoga for today. This video is going to be for intermediate and advanced yogis, and we'll be focusing on arm strengthening. First of all, follow your own body. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right. Second of all, I just had a quick note for the intermediate guys out there. Not that they're really like levels in yoga, but you can self-diagnose your level. I think that there's a point when you sort of passed the beginner stage of like, what is this? What am I doing? What are these poses? And then you start to see some advancements in your body and ability to do things that you couldn't do before. That's so exciting and such a fresh, nice energy. At the same time, it sort of introduces this risk of, oh, can I do this? And oh, can I do that, right? So this is kind of where you learn maybe what's more gymnastics, right? And what is yoga. So we're not trying to perform these exercises for some external shape, right? And it gets a little confusing in that stage when you're excited about the new things that you can do. But you're still try to go back and remember the beginning, right? Which was more about feeling your body, okay? Just the real basics of like breathing, connecting with yourself, and starting to listen to messages. So there's like that moment right before you go too far when you kind of feel like, and then you might say, oh, it's going to be okay. Or you might say, I'm going to listen to that body. Listen to the body, listen to the message, okay? So err on the side of doing less, because over the long term, you'll end up doing more. That's my little message for intermediate people. And for the advanced yogis, we're just here to play and have fun and enjoy being together over through the waves, through the airwaves, we're together. All right, so we'll just do a nice warm-up for the shoulders. Also, I'm just shrugging my shoulders back. I've been feeling some neck tension recently, and I've been using one of those microwavable neck pillows. I just put it on right before I started recording this, because when you're working, especially with arm strengthening, there can be the tendency to squeeze your neck. So for me, the microwavable neck pillow really helps a lot with the neck tension. And you might think of, before you get into a whole bunch of yoga, right? Maybe if you're feeling particularly tight, you would want to try a neck pillow or put some lavender oil, diluted, or whatever. Just do some self-care. Okay, we'll just make some circles with the arms. Nice and big and fluid. And we'll just start focusing on keeping the shoulders down in the socket. So the range of motion with the arms is less important than the shoulders staying down. And you can coordinate with your breath if you want. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, coming out. I like to make sound on my exhales, not every exhale, but like a sigh to release tension. I think that like a long controlled exhale can be nice. And also just letting some stuff out, right? Through yoga, we're sort of churning our stuff up, the dredges, right? We're kind of asking everything to come up. Giving it a voice can be helpful and healing for the throat and just emotionally to kind of let stuff out. Okay, we'll go quick side to side. Let's try keeping the arms straight, the top arm straight. And if you feel comfortable coming down onto your bottom elbow, you can do that. Nice long breath all the way from the pelvis to your hand. If you want to look up, you could look up. And lifting up tall and easily over to the other side. Your two sides don't have to match, right? We're not trying to become some perfect symmetrical paper cutout doll. We're trying to accept the limitations and the differences between the two sides. So don't try to make a match. Just notice where they are and allow them each to have their own experience, even if you're doing a symmetrical pose. Looking up if you feel like it. Stretching from the pelvis all the way to your hand. Try straightening that top arm all the way down onto the elbow if that's comfortable. And gently back up. And let's do one more sort of warm up. Coming onto the hands and knees. You can tuck your toes under if that's good. If that's not good for you, just put your feet flat. And we'll interlace the hands behind you. And I'd like to round back, really letting the shoulders come forward, tucking through your pelvis. Let your head go down. And then opening up, arching forward, and extending the arms back behind you. Lifting up tall and then rounding back again. I'm giving a little pressure into my butt with the backs of my hands. You can try that if you want. It feels like a nice stretch for inside the shoulder joint. Opening back up and coming forward, reaching the arms straight, rolling the shoulders open in the socket so you can notice the inside of the elbow trying to face outwards. Coming back up, and then we'll lift up onto your hips, and then lean, bending forward from the waist, or from your pelvis actually, all the way till your head goes down on the ground. And try to reach the hands up towards the ceiling. If you feel like there's sort of a point and you're getting stuck and you just, doesn't matter how hard you push or breathe or relax, if you're not going further, think of trying to open inside the shoulder joint, right? And then that'll allow for a bit more room. And letting the hands come back down. And we'll just press up onto the hands and knees. So I thought we could flow from downward dog, plank, chaturanga, and upward dog. So let's go. Get a nice comfortable downward dog going on. You can take a minute to stretch out in the backs of the legs. I often like to bend the knees and straighten them a few times just to warm up. Hands spread wide open at the palm and the fingers with lots of space between them. And we'll go ahead and come forward into plank, tucking through your pelvis. And just feel a little bit like you're floating, okay? Especially with the chest. So you're a little up rather than being down, right? Pressing through the shoulder. And bending the elbows nice and close in along your waist. We'll hover here for a second. And then let's come all the way down to the ground. Put the tops of the feet on the floor. Arch up and then add the pressing of the arms. Nice long breath. Tuck the toes under, lift the knees, and then press all the way back into downward dog. I always get that feeling like I've arrived when I come back to downward dog. Like, I made it back. And we'll do one more like that. Kind of scooping forward through the pelvis helps tuck it. And lifting with the chest. So we're not arching, right? Try to have that feeling like you're a little bit hovering. And bending the elbows down. If you can't hover, it's okay. Just try to go slowly until you land down on your belly. All the way down. Lift up first with your chest, putting the feet the other way, right? Pointing your toes. And then add the arms. Long inhale here. So when we're in a big back bend, it can be a little tricky to breathe in. Make sure you really take your time with the inhale. And we'll tuck the toes under, lift the knees, and come back into downward dog. Okay, so you could drop down for just a second, maybe wag your hips side to side, or if you feel like you need a break for your arms, just come back, shrug them out, shake them out, or whatever. So I want to do that again. This time we're going to try the scoop through. This is just fun, I think. So you start in downward dog, and then we're going to skip the plank. We're going to dive down, skimming along the floor and coming all the way through into upward dog. All right, let's try it. Take a breath or two before you start going, just checking in. And then look between your hands, bend the elbows, aim your face right between your hands, and then scoop, scoop, scoop. Keep going all the way up. Tuck the toes under and lift up and back. Breathe like you've arrived. And let's try that one more time. This time, if you feel like it, if you've never tried it before, you can go for it if your body says yes. We're going to roll through the toes, okay? So we're not going to take the time to change the position of the feet. We're going to try rolling forward and rolling as we're coming back. And we'll look between the hands, bend the elbows, aim your face for the floor, right between your hands. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Roll through the toes, come on up with the legs straight. And then lifting up and back, rolling through the toes if you want to. Back into downward dog. Nice long breath. And we'll come on down onto the knees. And just give ourselves a little break. I like to do these. These are actually like belly dancing arms, okay? So you roll the shoulders forward and up, then you lift the elbows forward and up, then the wrists, and then the hands, and then it all comes back down in the same order. Roll up, roll down. Roll up, roll down. If you want to get fancy, you can do one at a time. It's also fun. So the shoulder really comes forward and then rolls back. All right, shake out the wrists. Shaking them out. And now let's try some side plank. So if you're sort of intermediate-ish, right? It might be more comfortable for you to have the feet one in front of the other rather than stacked on top. I don't care, do whatever's good for you, okay? Once you get the hang of it with one foot in front of the other, you know, it's only a matter of time before you get other foot on top. So whichever way you want to do it, come on up, and we'll just hang out being kind of straight for a few breaths. Try to have the shoulders down away from your ears. And let's just leave the top arm lying along your side for now. Couple long breaths. And we'll come all the way down with the hips. And you can just give that hand a little break. So I want to try it again. And this time we're going to be lowering the pelvis towards the floor and then lifting it up nice and high. So we're going all the way past our plank position, all the way low and all the way high. Again, just go slow. It's not about how far you go today. It's like what do they say? It's a marathon, not a sprint. Life often feels like that. All right, so we'll come into our plank, whichever plank you're doing with your feet is fine. Side plank. And for now, let's keep the hand alongside. Actually, you know what? Let's put the hand on the hip. I like that better. So we're going to hang the pelvis down. Not resting it on the ground, but kind of hovering above the ground. And then lifting up and stretch it up nice and high. Try to feel these muscles around the scapula tightening, right? You want to use these to help push up high. And we'll go again. Hanging it down. And pressing up nice and high. You can let your head hang. And we'll come all the way back down to the floor. Let's give that hand and wrist a little break. You can circle it, massage it. When you're doing self-massage, I really recommend that you use the bone that's in the middle of the thumb to apply the pressure. Don't use the tip of your thumb. You'll end up hurting your thumb, right, when you're actually trying to help whatever it is that you're massaging. Try to get the hang of using the inside of that bone, that middle bone. And shaking it out a little. So let's do the same on the other side. Find your plank. Bringing the arm alongside for now. And just some nice easy breaths. Kind of squeezing a little bit of everything, right? Little stomach, little butt, legs squeezing together, shoulders reaching down away from the ears. And even here you can feel it along the side. And gently coming back down. Give it a little love and attention. Maybe a little massage. And then we'll do the same thing we did on the other side with lowering and lifting the hips. So come on up into your side plank. We'll do the hand on the hip. And letting the pelvis hang down slowly. Don't go all the way. Come back up and rise up nice and high. You can let your head hang if you want. And one more of those down. Hovering above the ground maybe. And lifting. And reaching up nice and high with your hips. Try letting your head hang to the side. And we'll come all the way back down. And give this guy some love. It's a lot of work for the heel of the hand, right? It's a lot of body weight. Again, I'm massaging with the inside of the knuckle on my thumb. You can get a good amount of pressure that way and you won't hurt your thumb. All right, let's do one more side plank. I just think the variation with your leg up in the air is pretty cool, so let's try that. So once you're here, if you haven't done this one yet, right, just play around with bending the top knee. Can you bring it, so almost like tree pose, right, alongside your inner thigh? If that's okay, then you can try holding the foot. Yogi toe hold is the pointer finger and the middle finger wrapped around the big toe. You can try that. If that's like hurting your toe or your fingers or whatever, you can just wrap your fingers around all your toes or hold on to the outside edge of your foot. See if you can get a hold somehow. And if you're here, you can stretch up. All right, let's bring it down and shake it out. I'm gonna try that on the other side. Come on into your side plank. Again, if you're just starting out with this one, just play with this foot, right? Can you lift it up? It's a lot of work for the bottom leg to hold you up, so. And if that's okay, try some kind of hold on your foot. Find your balance again. And if you're there, try stretching it up. Nice long breath. And coming down. It's a little crash landing. And again, shaking it out. I would love to hear a big open sound from all of you. Right? The release of all the tension and the satisfaction of a job well done. So for the last round of poses, I wanted to try some handstands. So you'll need probably a piece of wall. I need a piece of wall. I can't do this without a wall, especially if you're a beginner, but maybe you're more advanced than me, right? Handstands are not my forte, but I think it's cool to try. So I'll be using the wall, and if you don't have a piece of wall around you right now, try to find one. Could be a door, just make sure that it's really closed and that no one's about to come through. So we'll start with the easiest and we'll get to the trickiest. For those of you who don't do handstands, okay, don't worry. To start, I want you to actually face away from the wall. I'm going to use this piece of wall to show you this one. And put your hands down on the ground. Give yourself a fair amount of room, between where your hands are and where the wall is. And you're just going to start with lifting whichever foot feels natural, will be easier. Lifting one foot up and putting your toes on it. And then pressing your weight into that top leg, pushing into the ground, into the wall. It's my new ground is the wall. And see if you can get so that this top leg is straight and so the bottom leg is just hanging. And bend the top knee until the bottom foot comes back down. Maybe you want to come down into a squat. You don't have so much blood in your head. Take a little break and then try the other side. Okay, nice and easy. Actually, this is fun for anybody who can already do like walking on your hands or whatever tricks you guys can do. This just feels fun. It just feels nice to hang there, so you might want to try it this way too. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Bringing the other foot up. Toes against the wall. And then pressing through the top leg until it goes straight, letting the bottom leg just hang down. Couple of breaths. And then bending the top leg until the bottom foot can come down. And coming back down into a squat. Letting the blood run back down. So if that's where you're at, cool, just keep practicing that. If you're feeling like once you get the top leg up, you're pretty comfortable, you can walk the bottom foot up as well. Right? Just getting the feeling of having your weight in your hands and your head hanging down. Okay, so now we'll try, if that's easy, we'll try another way, which you're going to start with facing towards the wall. Place your hands on the ground and then kick the legs up. Some people can do like a slow lift with their legs. I can't do that, so I'm just going to heft them up there. So let's get up there. All right, both hands down. I would say, pretty close to the wall, not too far. Lift one leg in the air. Bend the bottom knee, the leg that you're standing on. Lower that top leg and then swing it up there and use that momentum to try to get your feet all the way to the wall. Okay. Couple of breaths here. And then coming down, one foot comes first, and then the top foot just follows. And we'll come down into a little squat. Let the blood run down out of your brain. Okay, so we'll try again. This time, I should have asked you to remember which foot you used, but we can try to find out. We're going to try using the other leg to swing up with momentum. So whichever way feels natural, now we're going to do the unnatural way. Your body I love it. Like, our bodies, just even looking at somebody else doing something, we'll naturally do it with whichever side is easier for us first. We just, oh yeah, I know how to do that, right? So the first side is pretty much always going to be easier if you don't think about which side. So now we'll do the harder side. Hands pretty close to the wall. And lifting one leg, bend the bottom knee, lower the straight leg close to the ground, and then swing it up with momentum and try to get the feet all the way to the wall. If you're just trying, just keep trying. You don't have to go all the way, right? If you're up there, hang out for a couple of breaths. And then coming back down. Let's try the hard way, right? So the opposite leg that you feel like doing comes down first, and it just carries the top leg down with it. I kind of popped around pretty quickly. Try to take it slowly for your blood pressure to adjust. And just take a little second here. We can roll out through the wrists, right? Giving the hands a little love. Maybe let's do a little wrist stretch. I feel like my wrists are like, could you give me a little more love? Sure, no problem. Pressing down gently. And opening the other way. You can do this with the elbow bent or straight. For me, it gets the wrist more with the elbow bent and it's comfortable, so I'm doing it this way. Do the other hand gently. Stretching it. And we'll turn it around the other way. I like to have the fingers spread wide when I'm stretching this way. Just adds to the stretch. And release. Circling them just a little bit. Okay, so for the last round, you can either practice what you've already been practicing if that's where you're at. If you want to try something fun, we're going to do a handstand and we're going to try lifting one hand, the other hand. One hand, the other hand. Okay? That's it. Let's go. Come on up. Look down at the ground and we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Couple more. Woo. Okay, that was it for me. Come on down. Maybe you're still going. Uncooked. And again, a little gentle rotation with the wrists. I've been doing yoga for, 22 years. That feels like a nice magic number. I've been teaching yoga for 19 years. And I just get like more and more of a sense of humor about it, right? Like my own limitations or what my body wants to do or doesn't want to do. One side, how it likes to go versus the other side, how it likes to go. I really just am open to whatever's going on. All that like embarrassment and judgment and fear, it's just all part of the ride. So every time it comes up, just know that that's yoga. That is yoga, right? Yoga is not about being peaceful and centered all the time. It's like, no, yoga is about actual reality, right? Dealing with your actual self. So all these silly feelings that come up, all the anger that comes up, like, don't be scared of your anger. Don't judge your anger, right? Like, you're a human being. You're a being. We all have all these feelings. So I really encourage you to find the joy, right, through just self-acceptance. So how are you going to unite with yourself if you can't accept whatever you're experiencing? So with a light heart, right, and sometimes with a heavy heart. Like, honestly, sometimes my yoga is just flopping face down on my bed and just, right? Like, I don't even know what pose that is. But sometimes that's the exact yoga that I need, right? Which is just total surrender and rest when you're feeling overwhelmed and just letting it come up and come out. And if you're being present with your body, if you're being present with your experience, and you're sort of working with your own feelings and your own body, like that is yoga as far as I'm concerned. So thank you so much for joining me. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. Don't hesitate to email me. You can share things or just ask me questions or anything like that. My contact info is on my website. I also teach, right? Private classes, which are now on Zoom, and I make personalized videos of whatever length you might want. So that's it. Thank you so much, and take good care.